Hi there, Amy Blackthorn here. Talking about Blackthorn's Protection Magic. There's a 13,000 word escape and evasion course. Usually it takes me, a weekend to teach this class in person. The things we're dealing with, the things we're talking about are difficult. There's a lot of nuance, especially to fit into a TikTok format. A lot of people are talking about protecting themselves with firearms, so I want to talk about that. That's Millie. Owning a handgun doesn't make you armed any more than owning a guitar makes you a musician. Colonel Jeff Cooper, Principles of Self-Defense, 1978. Should you choose to carry a firearm? I'm not advocating for everyone because everyone knows their individual story way better than I could from the other end of the earth. Train as though your life depends on it because it can. Under stress, we default to our lowest level of training and not the highest. Without consistent training, practice, and manufactured stress, we cannot hope to rise to the occasion. This means taking classes, lots of them. The largest training organization in the United States offers classes from introduction to self-defense to firearms in the home and classes for carrying outside the home. If you're uncomfortable with large classes, seek out individual training. There are firearms instruction groups for LGBTQIA plus individuals. There are groups for people of color who are looking for an instructor. There are groups for women, for the elderly, and the list goes on. If you're queer, like I am, I would absolutely suggest you look for Operation Blazing Sword. They're a network of volunteer instructors who are certified in how to teach, how to train, and that's right, Millie. They're interested in helping you out, and they don't care that you're queer. There's a map. There's an interactive map on their website. You can just drop a pin and see who is around you. The training is free, low cost, and there's some other considerations given depending on the instructor and the region. I also like USCCA, the United States Concealed Carry Association. They have free trainings that are available in communities. The ones here in Delaware are often in a 511 tactical clothing store. They'll teach you stop the bleed classes. They'll do community support. They'll do what to do if there's an armed person at your workplace. There's lots of great free training that they're usually 2-hour classes. USCCA, if you decide to get concealed carry insurance, which I do recommend, USCCA doesn't require you to pay back the cash that they pay for you if you have to use a firearm in self-defense. They'll defend you. There's not some of the caps. There's a lot of different things you can look at for them. Absolutely consider all of your options. Oh, also consider carry insurance. There are organizations who offer insurance policies in case of use of force lawsuits and can cover the millions for usually a small monthly fee. USCCA also has a Netflix option with their memberships where you can log onto their website, you can watch self-defense videos, and there's thousands of hours of training there that's free. Well, if you consider, if you don't consider you're also paying for the membership. Aftermath of a self-defense scenario. In the event that you're engaged in a self-defense scenario, once the physical fight is over, the mental fight begins. If you've read this much of the book, I'm guessing you're a magical person and likely have your own set of morals and ideas. That's good. It's important to review them from time to time to see where you stand on certain topics. Self-defense is one of those topics. Whether or not you choose to carry a defensive tool, as I discussed above, or one that I even haven't, it's important to think of the repercussions of the choices before making them. Whether choosing to carry or not a defensive tool, consider that you would be in a situation where you have to use it. Sadly, whether or not the theoretical attacks result in deadly force, there will be judgments from friends, family, and community. Even if the attack is clearly not your fault, again, it's never the victim's fault. We can be the subject of scrutiny, derision, and even subsequent attacks. If you choose to employ a firearm, each bullet has a lawyer attached. If you shoot an attacker in defense of your own life, it is considered a legal shoot. You won't be arrested, and that's great. but you're still vulnerable to civil lawsuits from the heirs of the person with whom you engaged. If you legally defend yourself from a bad person, but you injure someone else as well, can you live with that? Even if the shoot is considered legal, you may spend tens of thousands of dollars providing your innocence in court. If you're found innocent of criminal harm, your friends, neighbors, and family may have strong feelings about the incident. If there is no weapon involved, you may merely have survived an attack. There will be people who don't believe you, who question your motive or actions. Why were you there? Why did you X? Why didn't you Z? Let me be clear, it is not ever the victim's fault, and in the eyes of our friends and loved ones, they need to understand what happened and why. Our culture teaches that if you're a good person, bad things won't happen to you. It's toxic and ableist. They love you and fear for your safety, and we may never know why this thing happened. Honestly, that isn't even the point. What these people are looking for is a way to make it not have happened to you, and not to them either. If they go through their lives thinking these things only happen to those people, meaning anyone other, then they can pretend the world is really safe and warm. The best thing I can offer is A, decide how much emotional labor this person is worth. If they're a random person you have no emotional investment in, feel free to ignore their questions. B, if their equation is decided that this person is worth your time and effort, check in with yourself honestly and see if you have the emotional bandwidth to discuss this very upsetting time with them. It's perfectly reasonable to tell them, I can talk to you about this, but not today. Also, no is a complete sentence. It's a valid choice and one you're empowered to make for yourself. You may never feel that you can discuss certain things with certain people. They aren't entitled to your pain or emotional labor. They simply aren't. It can be a shame response on their part. It could feel they should have protected you or done something differently. That is their burden. You can let them know how you feel, but you can also guard your healing. Remember, Karen Marie Monig said, should is a false god.